everyone, I'm Jensen Denoyes here for a new and exciting episode of Hero in You, and we are filming at DW Field Park.
And I'm Simony Antunes. Hero in You is an educational program that focuses on self-growth and self-empowerment. The purpose of our show is to discuss a topic connected to an issue on a comic book and see how it can relate to our lives. So you can
find the hero in you.
That's right.
Today's topic is on self-awareness. Author and minister Bill Hybels has a quote that says, "Self-awareness allows you to self-correct." Today, we're going to talk about the importance of self-awareness. Developing your self-awareness helps you learn more about yourself and your capabilities. Self-awareness allows you to discover your strengths and your challenges in order to lead with a purpose. The comic book example that we're using is coming from The Rise of the Black Panther, issue number 2, written by Evan Narcisse. And he will talk about the importance of Black Panther leading in great nation Wakanda.
We interviewed a group of Broxton High students who are part of Kids Connect mentorship program at the Old Colony YMCA in Broxton. They shared how Kids Connect has helped them to shape their self-awareness within their minds.
Let's play the clip.
I got started with Kids Connect through my brother, and so he started doing this program through this summer program he started. And then they invited them to come to Kids Connect, and then one day I just came with him, and then I just kept going ever since.
I believe beginning of 8th grade or some of 8th grade, not really sure. And I was sitting at the table with some friends, and there used to be this flyers that used to be there just gathering dust all year, and no one really got a chance to look at it. And one day I just got courageous enough to get up and actually take a look at it. I don't really understand the reason why no one just looked at it, but you know, oh well. But I just got a chance to go up and look at the simple piece of paper, which in other terms changed my life.
It was actually during my freshman year, right? So I had a few friends that did Kids Connect, and one day I was at the YMCA and I seen them, and I was like, "Oh, what are y'all doing here?" And they were like, "Oh, we have a meeting." And at that point, I didn't know anything about Kids Connect. And they were like, "Kids Connect." I was like, "Oh, what is that?" And they're like, "Just show up to the meeting and you'll see." And since then, I've been here, coming every Tuesday and doing stuff with Kids Connect.
So it all started when I was in middle school in the 8th grade, and I was introduced to the Summer Leaders Program. And through that, I was introduced to STEM in high school, and also as an after-school program here at the Y did Kids Connect.
Kids Connect, how did he teach me self-awareness? I think it's because we do so much stuff, from volunteering to going to college, stuff like this. I was open to a bigger world, if that makes sense. And I learned more about me with this program. For example, I learned that I like piloting planes because I did this program called Dream Flyers that you know, Kids Connect, Amanda, she connected me to it. Also going to colleges, I signed up with UMass Lowell because of Kids Connect. I looked at these other colleges like, maybe this is not what I want. And then I got to UMass Lowell, it's like, wow, this is amazing. And I've been able to work with kids too, and the kids kind of opened up my mind, if that makes sense. So like I kind of learned on myself. So I like to work with kids because Kids Connect has like these programs that works with other little kids.
So at Brockton High, we have some mentoring and tutoring programs at our school. So I guess a way I could apply self-awareness would be helping with having the opportunity to either tutor or help people in need in our school. Who need extra help after school. So
for example, picking up classes. Because of Kids Connect, I learned that I don't like so much stuff and what I like, so I try to find classes that, you know, kind of suit what I like based on my experience with Kids Connect or that I got outside. Other ways also as a student, so I became a better speaker, so like I'm better at presenting in school and stuff like that. What else is there? So like, I'm not afraid to speak my mind anymore because Kids Connect opened up to me about that.
So being at Brockton High is obviously very challenging due to its big size. And one important thing that has taught us is kind of like, literally making us look into a tunnel vision, but kind of like putting the idea into our head where we have to focus to what we want. And the fact that they teach us how to be aware all the time, not literally aware of what's going on, but aware of your importance or the effect you have around people around you, you know? So for example, I can be like one day just talking to a teacher and then the next day, you know, it's like the simplest thing, you can like making her smile, because working at a place that crowd is really hard, and knowing that you can have an effect on a person like that is amazing. Just being able to put a smile in a person's face every day just does the most.
Writing allows you to express your emotions. South Shore Community Magazine is a magazine that covers cities and towns of Plymouth County in Massachusetts, such as Marshfield, Brockton, Bridgewater, and of course Plymouth, where writers write articles that inspire resilience. South Shore Community Magazine's mission is to promote positive youth, family, and community development. We actually have the chance to interview the writers of South Shore Community Magazine, where they talk about how self-awareness has helped them become effective writers.
I got involved through a friend of mine a couple years ago, Kristen Glenn. Christy actually consults for the magazine, and she invited me to just come and sit in on one of the meetings that the magazine was having, and I said sure, and I've been hooked ever since.
It was Fabiola Hyppolite, and may her soul rest in peace. She was the one at a networking event. She came up to me and she said, hey, I love your work. I've read your work. It's amazing. I would love for you to be a part of this. And I came over to the meeting for the South Shore Community Magazine meeting. It was a great group of people, It looked like a family to me, and the rest was history.
My mother, Lise, introduced me to the magazine. She attends the meetings monthly, and I decided I would tag along with her.
I got started with the magazine was when I was at my former college, Massachusetts Community College in Brockton, Massachusetts. I reached out to a professor named Jensen Denoyes, and I had a good conversation with him, and I told him I wanted to be a sports writer and expand my career and broaden my field and create opportunities for myself.
When I'm writing, I try to write through the lens of a parent, and I try to think of things that other parents may be thinking of, something that they may want to read. So for instance, one of the articles I wrote about was walking with a high schooler through colleges and looking at colleges with a high schooler, because my daughter is a sophomore over at Brockton High School, and we've been visiting colleges. I say start sooner rather than later. And so that was an article I wrote about. I also wrote about being self-aware and being proud of who you are. Having a teenage girl, I'm constantly emphasizing for her to be proud of who she is. So I think that's been helpful to me, and I've also written about just volunteerism and what that's done for me.
Okay, yeah, self-awareness has helped me write these articles in many ways. I'll be more specific today because I think it's important that I share really from a genuine place how I've been able to write these articles. So first off, I'm a believer. I love God. I'm a Christian man. So a lot of my articles are geared towards the spirit, right? And for me, it took my sister passing away who inspired me. So for a long time, I was running away from the idea of God and anything with prayer, any of that stuff. I grew up in the church. My mom was a prayer warrior, and she still is. What got me to really pursue that relationship and embrace it more was the message my sister left me with before she passed away. And she said, you need to embrace and stop running away from this. This is who you are. This is your identity, right? And for me, I said, okay, great. If this is who I am, maybe I should give it a shot. Maybe I should pray and talk to God and see what happens. And ever since, it's been great, because now a lot of my articles are towards the spirit man, how we can see and feed the spirit man as opposed to our physical body all the time.
Self-awareness has helped me become an effective writer for the magazine by helping me know myself and be mindful of my experiences and helping me relate to other teenagers through my writings.
Self-awareness helped me to write articles for this magazine I'm just glad that they give me the opportunity to write whatever I want on any topic I want. It allows me to elaborate my knowledge, express my knowledge, and be free and ease my mind.
My goal is to involve more parents and have parents see that it's really simple to write an article. I'm not writing essays, 3 and 4 page essays. An article can be, 4, 5, 6 sentences. I write about what interests me, what I think might be interesting to other parents. So my goal is to get other parents involved and you may not be able to attend a meeting, but maybe you can volunteer by writing an article, even a recipe, I think would be also helpful. So hopefully I'm getting more parents involved in reading the articles, and I hope that they enjoy the articles as well.
A lot of my articles, when I write them, first off, comes from an instruction from the Holy Spirit. And so when I get instructed by the Holy Spirit to write these messages, I know it's a teaching and it's something deeper than me and it's something bigger than me. So for me, whenever someone picks up this article and looks at it and reads it, the goal is to get them to pay attention to their spirit, man, because a lot of the physical stuff, when you die, you're not going, in the spirit realm with your car or your house, right? You're going by yourself. So a lot of these articles is to inspire them to start paying attention to your spirit, man, to start talking to God, to start realizing that when we call for help and ask for help, the help is given.
I love to relate to other teenagers in my writings, and that's definitely my primary goal. I also would love to give parents the perspective of their child.
My goal when people read my article is to make sure I entertain the reader in a way or help them learn something, and just put a smile on their faces and let them know that Chris Bazille was a good reader and a good writer.
After our interview with South Shore Community Magazine writers, we've learned that writing requires a lot of self-awareness. Have you ever thought about what a writer and a fitness instructor have in common? They both work hard at their crafts. We recently interviewed Jennifer Edwards, the owner of Body Elements Fitness. She talked about the importance of self-awareness for your body. Check it out.
I decided to become an instructor when my favorite aerobics instructor left the class that I was teaching. I had just started working out, and I found my favorite class. I found the people that I wanted to be with, and then he left. And so I saw an opportunity to kind of step up and figure out how I was going to get that good workout that I needed and how I was going to be able to help my friends that were also taking the class. So the staff at the time at the Y wasn't that diverse, and I figured I would step up and take a class to get certified. And then I started teaching soon after my certification. My self-awareness came from, just being able to try to figure out how I was going to lead the class, because I was new and I wasn't sure confident in myself that I could deliver the same class that the previous instructor had. But I decided that I would just ask for feedback from people that would be helpful to me and share that information with them. And that was, for me, very helpful in becoming more confident and being more aware of how I could motivate people.
How does self-awareness impact your life body style?
So that's a really good question, Ada. The first thing I would say is that coming to the gym in general, the first step that you take to come to class is allowing you to be aware that you need something to help your fitness lifestyle, that you're interested in working out. So it really also impacts you in a way that when you come to class, you'll notice that everybody has a different fitness level. So if you are aware that, I can only do 10 jumping jacks, but I'm still going to continue to do the workout, you're aware of your limits, but you're still taking the step and making a transformation in your life. People work out for a lot of different reasons. My first want would be for them to get whatever they came out of what they came here for, that they got it. So for a lot of people, they come here for social aspect. A lot of people come here because they feel like they want to be a part of the family. There's a lot of ownership that starts to happen when you become a regular in a class. And I also want people to feel empowered and in control of their fitness and what they are interested in doing with their bodies. Be your own superhero in that regard. I mean, honestly, what I would stay away from is any type of online certifications. Go to a class, take a class, and learn how your body moves so that you are able to teach an effective and deliver effective classes.
In the unknown world, when a loved one dies, no one knows what happens. The end. It's the same thing when people see Wakanda, they see poverty, but little do they know there is an unknown world. This past year, South Shore Community Magazine lost a key person and an active member, someone who not only cared for the magazine, but also cared for her community, and she also cared for her children. Hero knew had the opportunity to interview Fabiola Hyppolite before she passed away, and she explained the importance of self-awareness. With self-awareness, Fabiola stated that it allows you to have leadership with purpose. Let's play the interview with Fabiola Hyppolite before she passed away.
Hi, good morning. Thank you for having me. Again, my name is Fabiola Hyppolite. I am a single mother of 3, currently battling stage 4 liver cancer and bone cancer. This topic is very dear to me. Self-awareness. It wasn't until I decided to take some time out to really dig deep within and really becoming aware of what was causing me to be so sick. Part of my healing, I had to, like you said, self-awareness leads to self-correction. And self-correcting ultimately will lead you to healing, right? So there was a lot of emotions that I was carrying around: resentment, anger, hate, worry, you name it. I felt like my body was like that perfect host to carry that kind of, to carry the cancer because of all these emotions. I always say, when we as women put ourselves last, we invite all kinds of disease to take over our body because we're not taking care of ourselves. We're not aware of what we're doing to ourselves. We are everywhere and nowhere. We are everything to everybody, but we are nothing to ourselves. Until you become self-aware, you take the time to really analyze. It's called self-analyzation, like where you really take the time to sit with yourself and become aware of what's causing you to be sick, what's causing you to be angry, to be sad, whatever it is. You need to we as women need to take more time for ourselves, to be with ourselves, because we want to be the best wife. In order to be a good wife, a good girlfriend, a good mother, a good friend, sister, whatever you're trying to be good at, until you can be good to yourself, you will not be good to anything. And when you're not good to yourself, that's when you become a host for a disease. I became more self-aware. You know what it is? This is the example. Your friends are your mirrors, right? I became aware because I had great friends that were mirrors of what I needed to deal with, and there were friends that were willing to help me become aware of some of the things that was causing me to be sick. So that's one of the things that I had to do. I had to stop running and listen to the people in my life that was trying to make me become aware of the different things, emotions that was causing me to be sick. So these friends become your friends or your mirrors, okay? So make sure you surround yourself with great people. And also too, part of my healing, I'm very careful of who's surrounding me, because it's really important that each day I get up, that I'm fueling my body, infusing my cells with positivity. So that's one of the great things to do as a woman, as you're becoming aware, is become aware of the fact that you're not giving yourself enough time. Okay, we give so much of ourselves to others, but not to us. So the minute you take the time to sit down and face that mirror, which is you face that, whether it's that child that was issues from childhood that was never dealt with. Okay, you sit down and you face those issues. Therapy, self-care, traveling, doing different little things. I encourage women to do the things that you've always wanted to do as a child. Recently, I remember I used to love to travel. I'd never traveled, but I used to love it. I was looking at a picture of me when I was 18. Again, this is important why it's great to have good friends around. A friend of mine was like, he asked me, what would you tell that 18-year-old self of yours? And what did she want? What did that 18-year-old self want that she didn't get, which got her sick now, right? Because there are things we wanted to do at the age of 16, 18, 21. We have goals. And when we don't uphold to those goals, then we become upset, depressed, and all these emotions invite disease. Well, the youth that I mentor, this is what I tell them. Know what you want in life, right? You have your goals, but you have to make sure every choice that you make, that you take, aligns with those goals. what happens is when we become adults, right? We don't hold to our choices. We don't hold ourselves accountable to the goals that we made for ourselves. We become bitter, angry, resentful. Then we invite disease. At the end, it's choices, right? At the end, you can either invite disease through poor choices, or you deflect it, or you stay away from disease by making great choices, whether choices in nutrition with friends, nutrition in partners, choices in your purpose. Okay, when we're not living up to our purpose, okay, we are doing our soul injustice. Anytime that we're not living to our best self, okay, we are inviting disease. So that's what I would say.
That was an amazing interview from Fabiola. May she rest in peace. And I really admired the fact that she talks about self-awareness, the importance of self-analysis, and most importantly, self-care. I'm actually curious, Simony, why is self-care very important for you as an individual?
Self-care to me is very important because I feel like I am busy all day, and you want to go home and just kind of unwind and take care of yourself. You give so much energy to everybody else, and you want to make sure you give that, you kind of go home and restore that energy that you kind of put out there. What I do for self-awareness, I try to date myself.
Okay.
Right? So I might go to the movies on my own, or I might just go home and just get a whole spa at my own house, like do a hair treatment or a face treatment,
nice.
Or take nice baths and light up a candle, just something nice for me, or also might eat ice cream, like a pint of ice cream on my own, and just watch Netflix. You know what I mean?
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
But what about the park? Do you usually come here for self-care?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so I try to start a new routine. So early morning, wake up, just go running. The weather's getting nicer now, so the park is a really great place to go and just run and just kind of just ease your mind a little bit,
Right.
It's beautiful views all around, and you just kind of zone out.
Would you recommend people to come here to the park for mental state?
Definitely come to the park. W. Phil Park is a great place to come and just kind of relax your mind a little bit, and take care of yourself.
I agree.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Overall, we learned the importance of self-awareness. The final example that this television program wants to present to you is coming from issue number 2 of Rise of the Black Panther, written by Ta-Nehisi Coates and Evan Narcisse. To tie it to Bill Hybels' quote, self-awareness allows you to self-correct. The synopsis of the story is about King T'Challa, aka Black Panther, who is a leader of Wakanda. He has done a really great job making sure that the people of Wakanda live and prosper together. But he noticed some of the Wakandans have disappeared. So after having a discussion with his uncle, he noticed that he has done a great job protecting his land. However, he noticed that he never really developed a relationship with the rest of the world. But in order for him to figure out what to do, T'Challa did a self-analysis as a leader that it is time for him to make certain decisions. In order to find the people that disappeared, T'Challa decided to meet with another character named Namor. Namor and T'Challa eventually were able to successfully find the missing people in a neighboring land of Wakanda. At the end of the story, T'Challa met with his sister Shuri. Shuri is really proud that T'Challa, aka Black Panther, was able to find the people, except there was one Wakandan that wasn't there. He noticed that Wakandan is somewhere lost in the world, and his name was N'Jaduka. T'Challa stated at the end of the story, quote, "The outside world doesn't know us at all. It is time for me to change that." In this story, if T'Challa didn't understand the importance of self-analysis and understand his strengths and weaknesses, he wouldn't have been able to have a wake-up call and rescue the kidnapped Wakandans. Instead, T'Challa decided to become a great hero and a great king for his nation by understanding the importance of self-awareness. Clearly, to be a great leader, it requires self-awareness. Self-awareness is having a clear perception of your personality, whether it's your strengths, your weaknesses, your thoughts, beliefs, motivations, or even emotions. Self-awareness allows you to understand other people and how they perceive you and your attitude and your response to them in the moment. As you develop your self-awareness, you are able to make changes in your thoughts and your actions. and make better decisions. And with self-awareness, your self-awareness will allow you to develop and practice more attention on challenges and your strengths. And by understanding the importance of your strengths and your challenges, you are able to lead with a purpose. Now that's how you find the hero in you. If you want to share how self-awareness has helped you to lead with a purpose, please go to our website, www.findthehero.com. Also, check us out on Twitter at FindTheHero. And don't forget to like us on Facebook, www.facebook.com/theheroinu, and also Instagram, The Hero in You. And finally, subscribe us on our YouTube page, Hero in You.
Wakanda forever! Hey, what moves did you learn from Jennifer Edwards?
Oh yeah, she showed me some kickboxing moves.
Oh, can you show me?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot.